video you are going to have a quick revision of world wars. Okay, from state board exam, what questions are going to come, and the topics ones will be discussing, and I'll be telling you the questions which you need to read from this particular lessons. So normally what kind of questions will be asked, just we'll be discussing the questions. Okay, let's start today's lesson, the world wars. Okay, from 1900 to 1950, the world between 1900 to 1950. So you can call this as the 20th century. The first half of 20th century is called as age of extremes. Okay, note this one. It is it will be given for 1 marks. It was said by Eric Hobsbawm. Okay, age of extremes. Okay, and not only this one, apart from this one, even fascism has been grew. Okay, so the unquestioned power which they had. So even next we have the life expectancy has been increased. Many experiments have been taken place, expectations, and even in the field of medicines, many discoveries were made. Okay, so these are the changes, and even industrialization also started. When industrialization has been started, there was a competition between two blocks. Okay, the powerful countries, and they became into two enemies. Okay, so one group and other group, they had a competition between them for imperialism, like what we call the thirst of conquering nations for raw materials. Okay, and it led to the world wars. As we know, in the year 1914 the world war has been taken place. So let's why this world war has been started. So here the question will be asked as long answers or 2 marks. What are the causes for world wars? Okay, and consequences. Now let us see what are the causes led to the world wars. Let's here have the causes for the world wars are aggressive nationalism, okay, and imperialism, militarism, and secret alliance, AIMS. So if you remember this one, aims, then you could understand very easily. So what is aggressive nationalism, which you have studied in the previous classes? Loving their own country and hatred towards other nations. Okay, especially the countries like Italy, the fascism, and Germany, Nazist, and this nationalism feeling was positive impulse initially, and later on these countries, especially Italy and Germany, they had more aggressive towards the nations. And next, if you are talking about the imperialism, the thirst of conquering the nations for raw materials. Even they wanted to sell their finished products in those countries, and they wanted to get cheaply the raw materials. And next, if you are talking about the militarism, even in the textbook I have a graph which is related to 1880 to 1914. The military expenditure has been increased. Why the military expenditure has been increased? When they are military wise they were strong and they have more armaments, then they can defeat the other countries very easily. So that's the reason $132 million to $397 million. So they have spent on the military itself. So this is what we can see. And from coming to the secret alliance, we should not say. Okay, triple entity and triple alliance was formed. Triple alliance was led by Germany. Triple entity was led by Britain. Okay, triple entity was formed in the year 1907, and triple alliance was formed in the year 1882. Okay, so these are the questions which will be asked in the examination, causes of the world wars, and these are the long-term causes. And apart from this one, we have Balkan politics. So what are Balkan politics? The present countries like Croatia, Serbia, and Macedonia, Bulgaria, and these all countries were Balkan states. They were ruled by many sects or dialects which we have, and they were under the control of Ottoman Empire. After the downfall of Ottoman Empire, Turkey, Russia, Germany, Austria-Hungary, they wanted to control these nations. But Turkey and Russia mostly controlled Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea, and at the same time Austria-Hungary wanted to suppress the Serbians, and even in Bosnia they wanted to suppress the Serbians who are living over there. So this is how the Serbian who is living in Bosnia, who killed the king of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. So this is what the immediate cause for the World War One. So this is another question which is asked in the examination. What is the immediate cause for the World War? So the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, okay, and his wife, okay. He was assassinated by Serbian fanatic named Gavrilo Princip, okay. Next, it was happened in the year 1914, 28th June. But World War started after 1 month. Why? Austria asked for explanation to Serbia, but they did not give any kind of explanation after 30 days, and they declared war on Serbia especially. So this is how the war has been declared 28th July 1914. So from this, how all the countries were participated. We know the secret alliance, even India participated because Austria declared war on Serbia. When Austria declared war on Serbia, Serbia was an ally to Russia. Russia supported Serbia, and immediately Germany supported Austria according to the secret alliance, okay. And even Italy supported, and even next Britain and France also supported to the Serbia, and like this it became a world war. So we know the world war was ended in the year 1918, okay. And before this, what happened in the year 1917? USSR, the Russia has been withdrawn from the World War One, and in the same year USA has been participated in the World War, supporting allied countries, triple entente to Britain, and fought against Germany. The reason for 1917 withdrawal of Russia in the World War I because of civil war, and the reason why USA has been participated. Even you'll be getting a 1 mark or objective questions here. So remember this: the ship was sunk by Germany. So this is what you need to remember. And after this, what happened? The Treaty of Versailles. You know, the Treaty of Versailles is very important. So even mapping question will be given to you. Treaty of Versailles is located in Paris. Okay. Next, in the Treaty of Versailles, they have been compensated to Germany, all the defeated countries. War indemnity has been taken, and mostly to the German troops. So this is what it happened over there. Next, after the Treaty of Versailles, you know, the League of Nations have been formed in the year 1920, Jan 11th. So this is also objective question. And what is League of Nations? To stop another world war, a League of Nations was taken place. In this we have 58 countries. So this thing also you need to remember. And but League of Nations was failed. Why League of Nations was failed? These kind of questions will be asked in the examinations. So you need to be very careful. Okay. Next, the League of Nations was failed because it couldn't control Germany, and the Second World War started. It could not stop the Second World War. So the next we have the heading, the Russian Socialist Revolution. Okay, the Russian Socialist Revolution. So here you need to remember, Russia is the first largest country, and population wise the third place, and it comprises of many nations. And we know the Russia was ruled by Tsar dynasty. Okay, and this time it was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II. Okay, Tsar Nicholas II. And in Russia, we know there was a conflict between the peasants and feudal lords for land, and Russia was agricultural land. Next, here in the year 1917, women started a procession towards St. Petersburg for peace and bread. So remember, this one is an objective question. And why did they start? The reason for starting is peace and bread, because during the Russians military was largest military, and they couldn't supply the food. There was a food shortage in their country. So that's the reason women started a march towards St. Petersburg. And to suppress women, King Tsar Nicholas ordered his soldiers to suppress them. But unfortunately, the soldiers turned to supported women and were against the king. So the king ran from to save his life. He ran from the particular country. Next, so this is how the mass revolution has been started. So this is the first revolution which took place in Russia. Next, After this, we had an immediate revolution did not take place in the month of October Revolution. We call it as even November Revolution. It was initiated by Bolshevik because after 1917, the aristocrats and liberals were ruling the Russia. So they don't want to quit from World War One. They wanted to continue the World War One to protect the pride and honor of Russia. But the commons, they did not like this one. They formed a councils. These councils were called as Soviets, consist of peoples, businessmen, even the farmers, soldiers. Okay, and all of them, they were supported to. They formed a party. It is called as Bolsheviks Party. The leader of Bolshevik Party is Vladimir Lenin. So underline the even Vladimir Lenin. He was a leader of Bolshevik Party. Okay, what happened here? So they fought against the liberals. The liberals, they took the help of White Army, the British. So you need to remember this also. And what happened next? They took the support of Britishers and they fought against the Bolsheviks. But at last, we know in the year 1922, the USSR has been formed. The Bolsheviks were able to defend the whites, the anti-communist leaders, the monarchists, and even the liberals. So when they defeated them, Bolsheviks or USSR was about to form. They asked the many countries which were part of Russia, if they want to become, they can become independent nations. But most of the countries, they did not show that much interest, so joined USSR. So it became in the year 1922, Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. And in the year 1924, Lenin died because of fever. After him, they were searching for a leader. Highlight this one also. 1924, Stalin becomes the leader of Russia. And here also you need to remember from this what questions will be coming. So the questions are: 5-year plan was introduced by Stalin in the year 1928, and next, even he had a twin policy, that is collectivization of agricultural land and growth of industries, the twin policy of Stalin. So these are the questions which are asked in the examinations. You can underline that one. And impact of Russian Revolution on the world. So what kind of impact? So it has a good impact. Even our Indian leaders Rabindranath Tagore and Jawaharlal Nehru, M.N. Roy, they liked the principles of Russia, and they did not like only the opposition. They did not encourage the multi-party system. Okay, and they have suppressed the opposite parties. And we know George Orwell. Even you'll be getting your objective question. So what he has written? Animal satiric. Okay, so how animals were treated in a farm. So it was written by George Orwell. So this is what will be asked in the examination. And coming to the economic depression, here you'll be getting during economic depression, the state should invest funds and to generate employment opportunities. It was said by J.M. Keynes. So this one. And next, even the New Deal policy is also very important for 1 mark or 2 marks. What is New Deal policy? It was introduced by USA. The president of USA is Franklin D. Roosevelt. What is this New Deal? It has 3 R's: relief, reform, recovery. Okay, and even apart from this one, even we have social security system also, which was initiated by USA. What is social security system? Giving pensions to the elders and taking care of the physically handicapped people, and even giving employment opportunities to the people who are living in their country. So at present we have even old age pensions and orphanages which they'll be taking care of. So these are the things. And economic depression in Germany, here during this economic depression, so many of the government employees, they have skipped from this economic depression, but most of them, they were holding placards, okay, tying to their necks, willing to do any kind of job, either it may be sweeping or anything, and who are strong enough. So they had robbed many things. Okay, next here you'll be getting the other important thing also. So let's see, rise of fascism and Nazism. What is rise of fascism and Nazism? Here which I have studied in the aggressive nationalism, the same thing. loving their own country and hatreds towards other nations, and encourage they did not encourage opposition parties. Even they did not encourage people to have opposite views against their country. So this is what it went. Next, coming to this one, it also asserted that stronger nations have the right and indeed a duty to expand their territory by displacing weaker nations. So this is also underlined here, and especially the fascist country which came under the control of in France, Italy, under the leadership Benito Mussolini in the year 1922. So remember this, and even in the year 1933 by Hitler in Germany, and General Franco in Spain in the year 1939. So when Hitler became the dictator in the year 1933, you know about Hitler. He was a good speaker, orator, and he promised. Before him, there were many leaders who couldn't bring back the economy of Germany, and there were most of the youth were unemployed. He promised them he'll be giving employment opportunities. So these things are also asked. Keep remember this one. When Hitler became the leader, so before this, in the year 1928, let's see in your textbook, when elections took place, Nazi party got only 2.6% of votes, but simultaneously in the year 1932, when elections took place, total 37% of the votes. The major party in Germany, they got most number of votes. Next, here Hitler established undemocratic and autocratic rule. Undemocratic and autocratic rule. Here, so we can say the important questions which you will be getting in the examination. Enabling Act. On 3rd March 1933, Enabling Act was passed. What is this Enabling Act? Sidelining the powers of Parliament, and Hitler becomes a dictator. So according to his wish, he can rule its country. So this is what. And what is lower house of German Parliament? Even that is also another question which is asked in the examinations. Reichstag. So remember this one. And apart from the even Gestapo, the secret surveillance, even these regarding this one. And Hitler assigned economic recovery to an economist, a German asset. Remember this one. He aimed at full production and full employment. Okay, that also you need to remember. During this time itself, the people's car, Volkswagen, has been introduced, and later on they invested most of the amount in armaments, especially producing more number of weapons, and later on he waged wars with neighboring countries. Okay, he even genocidal war. So what is this genocidal war? So killing number of minorities, okay, especially the Polish civilians or gypsies, even Jews were killed, and even physically handicapped, they all were also killed by Hitler. So this is what you need to remember. And a place where they used to kill the people, it is called as Auschwitz. Even underline this one. Even this is also important question. Auschwitz, okay, not sandwich. Remember. Next, the Second World War. How did the Second World War begin? What are the reasons? You need to know the reasons for the Second World War. Before this one, the Treaty of Versailles, intensity of the terms. The German has been humiliated, and its military strength has been decreased. Its armaments has been decreased, and even the naval strength has been decreased. And not only that one, the places which were under the control of Germany, the colonies, it was taken away by the victorious countries. Okay, so this is how they wanted to get back all the territories. So that's the reason they wanted to wage war against their enemies. Okay, and even they wanted to control entire world. They wanted to bring Aryans as a superior of the world. So next, the failure of League of Nations. As we know, USA was a main reason for the formation of League of Nations, but it couldn't become the member of League of Nations because US Parliament did not agree the Congress. Next, we have how many members were there? 58 members. So who was the architect of League of Nations. This is also another important questions will be asked in the examination. Woodrow Wilson, remember this. Who is the architect of League of Nations? And how many countries were there? 58 countries. So this is also very important. Fear from socialism and Russia. So from this, appeasement of Hitler will be getting. So before this, Russia, how did it emerge from 1917 as a powerful nation? Because those kind of similar revolutions may take place in Europe. It was afraid by Britain, and they wanted Hitler to fight against USSR, Russia. So they appeased Hitler to fight against USSR. So this is called as appeasement of Hitler, and it is important for 2 marks question, appeasement of Hitler. Even you remember this appeasement of Hitler also. Okay, don't forget. And next, immediate cause, as we know, what is the immediate cause for World War II? What is the immediate cause? As we know, Hitler wanted to occupy Danzig port, which is there in Poland. Poland refused to give Danzig port, so that's the reason he declared war on Poland on 1st September 1939. Okay. Next, immediately even the fascist countries were joined supporting Germany. These were called as Axis powers, and Allied powers were led by Britain and even Russia. Britain was Russia helped, and even Russia came in the year 1942. USA came in the year 1941. So why did USA come and why did Russia come? Because in the year 1941, Japan dropped a bomb at Pearl Harbor in USA. So that's the reason USA has been entered into Second World War. So these are the 1 mark questions which will be asked. You know, initially the Axis powers were more powerful. Everyone thought that Germany will be the winning country, but the things has been changed. Where in the Stalingrad, the Russian troops has been sent back the Germany army. In the year 1943, they have all the Europeans have welcomed Russia, and they have occupied, and here Hitler and his leaders committed suicide themselves because of fear. So this is how the World War II has been ended. But Japan continued the war till 1945. So the USA wanted to stop this war as early as possible. So that's the reason they have dropped 2 nuclear bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 2 atom bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This is how even Japan surrendered, and after that they asked Japan to rule, and Japan became a constitutional monarchy, and where king will be the head, and like England. And Japan parliament is called as Diet. So remember this. And after this, there were Nuremberg trials. Even it is also very important. What is Nuremberg trials? It did not happen like after World War I, how Germany was insulted or war indemnity and everything. Only the leaders who supported to Hitler were sentenced to death. Out of them, there were 11 members, and even Germany economy was recovered by USA. It is called as Marshall Plan. Apart from Marshall Plan, USA, even USSR supported West European countries, Eastern European countries. Eastern European countries were supported by USSR. So these are also 1 mark questions. And at last, the consequences of world wars. Causes are aggressive nationalism, imperialism, militarism, and secret alliance. Consequences are different. Don't get confused between these two. Consequences are nothing but after these 2 worlds, what happened. So as you know, enormous human cost. There was a lot of human loss. Okay, even Indian soldiers were died, and even most of the Europeans, they lost their lives, civilians and even soldiers. So this is called as enormous human cost. And next you have democratic principles asserted. So that there is change in balance of power. Previously there were many empires. Later on these empires have been dissolved, and there was an undemocratic rule. Now it became a democratic rule in European countries. And next we have change in balance of power. What is change in balance of power? The colonies which they got independent, and the Europe map also has been changed. Many hundreds of countries they got independence during this time. and enfranchisement for women. So women started asking for their rights. In British has given right to vote for women in the year 1918. Complete right to vote was given in the year 1928. So you'll be getting only 1918. Don't get confused. And new international organizations are also taken place. UNO has been formed on 24th October 1945. Even apart from this UNO, even we know UNESCO, UNICEF, WHO, ILO. So these are the international organizations which took place after World War. And be prepared, don't get tensed. Even these are the questions which are asked from world wars, and even you had a short revision of this particular lesson, and more lessons will be coming this week. So prepare, utilize the time. You got good time, 7 days. Don't get tensed even when examination dates will be announced on 29th of this month because of coronavirus. If it spreads more, then it will be delayed. Otherwise, as usual, the exam goes on. So thank you.